week, an 11-year-old boy named Jacob Wetterling was kidnapped from the streets of St. Joseph, Minnesota. The effect on Jacob's family has been obvious, but his kidnapping has also torn the tightly knit social fabric of the entire town. Our last report tonight is from there. Here's ABC's Chris Bury.
The make-believe goblins are in place in this town of under 3,000, but it hardly seems like a holiday. Posters of the abducted boy are reminders of an evil that is all too real.
Let me interrupt by stating here, first of all, that there are no make-believe goblins in this town. We are dealing with real goblins here, and this story goes much more deeper than any news media outlet or even law enforcement official will tell you or the public, let alone America.
The school bike racks, normally full, were almost empty today because so many parents escorted their children to school.
As you can see in the previous news clipping previously shown, you can see the beginning of the fear-mongering upon the public and their families and children. The beginning of a sadistic fabricated story, an incomprehensible cover-up in order to allow the real criminals in Jacob's kidnapping to in turn get away with murder.
Today, October 12th, I'm 5 feet tall. My whole name is Jacob Erwin Wetterling. My favorite food is steak. My favorite color is blue. My best friend is Aaron Larson. I don't really have a favorite song. My favorite game is Clue. My favorite thing to do most is watch football. My favorite sport is football. My favorite TV show is The Cosby Show. What I want to be when I grow up is a football player. My favorite hobby is collecting football cards. I don't have a favorite book, and my newest friend is Gabe.
The official story was a diabolical hoax. As I dive into these details and tell the real truth, you will see that this case was none other than a fabricated, diabolical, and ruthless cover-up that details very disturbing events and disclosure. Stay tuned for the real truth, and we shall make real justice prevail for you all to see. We shall bring the real criminals responsible to the table, and most of all bring them to justice for Jacob.
For Jacob's abductor, that God may give him the courage to see how wrong he is.
Looks to me like this preacher is preaching to the choir and pinpointing someone here.
One of Jacob's favorite songs.
I don't really have a favorite song.
You see here, Jacob doesn't even have a favorite song. What a way to use this particular song for Patty and Jerry's cover-up story. By using children's song that unites people and falsely claim as Jacob's. But just wait. This man on the right side beside Patty, Jacob's mom, is Jacob's stepdad, Jerry Wetterling, not his biological father. But the news median or Patty will tell you that, will they?
St. Joseph, Minnesota.
On July 7, 1997, a man named Michael Bahner confessed to being present at the kidnapping of Jacob Wetterling, who was abducted on October 22, 1989. The recorded confession was captured by a local and independent investigator, to which I will call D, working with Larry Peart, Peart and Associates, St. Cloud, Minnesota. D gave the Stearns County Sheriff's Office a copy of the recorded confession in 1997, but they did not enter it into their files until 2015, when the case files were all officially released. The recording captures Bahner telling D he was present, and witnessed Jacob being taken by a man named Lou Kohls, whom was a known P and ex-offender whom actually knew Jerry Wetterling, and not only that. The Wetterlings knew the Bahners, Michael Bahner's sister, would help babysit Jacob when he was younger, so they knew them very, very well.
It's the type of, it shouldn't happen anywhere. All I could think of was who would take a child away from their parents? Like, I couldn't fathom it.
It was total shock, total disbelief. Even in talking with the sheriff's department here, they seem to be almost as amazed as we are.
We've taught him that people are good. We've worked for peace all our lives, and this is a real violent act, and I don't understand it.
Violent act, Patty? Wow. Way to judge your son's kidnapping so soon. Who's to say only 9 days after this incident that it was a violent act?
He plays goalie. He's cool under pressure. All these things give me hope that if there's an opportunity, this boy will be home.
Is he a survivor?
He's a survivor.
Next, I will play the recording of Michael Bahner's confession to Dee, recorded in 1997.
I was thinking last night what you were telling me about when we were sitting in the cafe. I think I told you about Lou in the burgundy car. They got rid of that. And then you told me that you guys were there. I admitted to that. You said you guys were in your car. And he was in his or what? Tell me again. I don't remember it all, but probably that's what he said. Did you see him get out? Well, I saw him get out, yeah. Get out of the car. Yep. Where did he park his car? Was it hidden? Give me a second, get it. Yeah, it was up in the brush. Oh, up in that road up there? And then dead brush road. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. I call it a brush road. Okay, that's off the twigs up there and stuff. So where were you guys parked? Next to him? So both cars were up there? Yeah. So then, how did you get down to the road where you took him? He got out, he came over to us, he talked to us. I don't quite recall what he said. But then he got back in, and that's when it all took place. He got back in, and I mean, when did he take him? Did he walk down and take him, or how? I guess they said he was standing up on the road. Did he get him and then come back and you guys got scared, or what? Pretty much. So how did you get him way back up by the car? Just drug him? Not very much. And what did he say to you? He just told me not to say anything. So, I mean, I've been having it all bottled up and shit, you know, I'm like, yeah, that's nothing with me. I mean, we're just trying to get to the bottom of that night because they're concerned about him, not him. Okay? They already know he was there. I'm just trying to, if you could just tell me a little more what you remember, I mean, how he got him back up there, or did he tell you right away, hey, I'm going, how did he, when you guys went there, okay, what did he say to you? Did he tell you he was going to do this? He basically said that he was going to do something, but we didn't know. Yeah. And that's when we got back in the car and left. But then, we both, the guy that I was with, we waited up there for probably 2 minutes. I mean, and then we heard the tires squeal. And by the time we got, we backed out, went down the end. By the time we got down there, we saw him take off. Jacob in the car? Right. So you saw Jacob in the car? Yeah. My own 2 eyes. So what did was he fighting him or anything? Well, Jacob was punching him. I mean, he was just wailing on him. He wanted to get out of the vehicle. He was punching him? Yeah. I mean, it was like a right and a left. I mean, it was like every 3 seconds there was a punch or something, you know. But then... Did you see him do anything? But then, the guy I was with, he saw... Well, I'm not going to say he saw, but to me, he said he think he saw, but I know damn well that he saw it. He saw a blue heavy knife, but I do know. A knife? I mean, it's a lot more. You're kidding. I understand. I'm still trying to figure this out. Well, how did he see it, well, he saw it obviously before he went down to get him. See, I'm still trying to figure it out. On the front seat on the passenger side, right? He was down. I couldn't see it. Mike, when Lou got Jacob, could you see him pulling him up the road there? Would he just run up there with him? He just basically grabbed him like this here, and then he had first of all, he got him up like this, and put him this way underneath his arm, and then Jacob somehow grabbed the back of his hair and pulled him back. And so he basically grabbed Jacob's hair and pulled it over his eyes, so it was like a blindfold basically. Yeah. And then then he basically took his hair over his eyes like a blindfold, tapped him back underneath his arms. He had both his hands underneath so he couldn't reach out and pull his hair again or whatever, and then he brought him to the car. Did you see who hit him? I didn't see that, but I saw Jacob do the wheel on Lou, because he wanted to drop. So when he got him back in his car, what did he say to you guys? He didn't say nothing, because he was right down the road. I mean... So he just left you there? Pretty much, he left both of us. So then what did you hear next? I mean, did you know what happened to him then? To Lou or Jacob? To Jacob. No, I didn't. I mean, I was like, no, I got it. So then it was later that you learned that he had killed him? Pretty much, yeah. There's the front seat. When he brought him up, did he have him like at knife point or something? Pretty much. So he had the knife? I mean, he had the knife right next to the throat. Yeah? That would do it right there. I mean, if somebody had a knife in my throat and wanted me to get in their vehicle, I wouldn't put no, you know, I wouldn't fight that. I mean, all they would have to do is go, and he'd be dead. So what car was he driving on that night? He was driving in maroon. That burgundy one? So you know how mean he is. Tell me about it. Hey, just put it this way, he's worse than hell. So then tell me also about last night when you said they would what's his name? Russ? When they got after you and crossed you and stuff? Tell me what they do. Well, basically when they would cop me and shit, you know,
County Communication Center, authorities have received more than 300 tips. And while so far nothing has panned out, they continue to be optimistic. Jacob will soon return home.
An awful lot just depends on the type of person that we're dealing with that abducted the boy. Some of them keep him around for quite a while, some of them don't. So we're hoping that this type of person is going to keep Jacob alive, and somewhere along the line that he's going to get a chance to get to a telephone or get away from him.
An eyewitness confirms Michael Bahner's admission of being at the scene of Jacob's kidnapping. His name is Ben Bina. He admitted also to D and witnessed that saw the Bahner brothers entering the ditch or abduction site. Meanwhile, the fear-mongering of the news media is broadcasted over and over to make it seem like this town was supposed to be safe. In reality, we are dealing with a massive cult here, and in these concession tapes, these witnesses have indeed witnessed Jared Wetterling being a part of these sadistic rituals, including the one with his Stepson Jacob Wetterling. We have all of the proof and tapes, and so does law enforcement, but they refuse to act and place the correct people behind bars.
Anyone would want to harm your family or your son.
Nothing.
I would only say that we really want Jacob back. For Jacob's sake, for our sake, and for everyone's sake. Please, give him back to us.
As you can see in this footage from 1989, these do not look like grieving parents, nor do they seem to be sad, mad, nothing, no emotion at all, like they look sort of lost in the sense of them not knowing what to say. This type of reaction 100% shows much deception here. Why?
Because they know exactly what happened to Jacob and have been trying to cover their tracks and cover up the truth for 35 years.
On the next episode, we introduce to you more of the players in this crime, and more confession tapes and witness testimonials, and show you undeniable evidence that will prove to you, let alone show you, that the wrong man is behind bars for a Jacob's murder. It took more than one man to commit this insane sadistic act, and we will bring real truth and real justice to the table. For Jacob.
On our way back, this guy popped out with a gun, and he said, "I got a gun, stop." And then he told me to turn off my flashlight, and then he told us to get into the ditch and drop our bikes there and lay down.